Hey y'all, hello. This is Dr. Ericka. Welcome. I wanted to share something personal for you today. I know we talk about a wide variety of things, but I'm going to give you a total inside sneak peek into what is going on with me right now. You might notice we have a different angle, and the reason we have a different angle is I have something special to share with you today. So as you come on, do me a favor, tag someone that you feel like needs this. You can also share. Sharing is caring. And also, if you're watching it later, don't even worry about it. Put hashtag replay in the comments. We'll make that happen. So let me give you a little bit of background. So you know I've been really busy. And I know for a fact, because did I mention I'm a psychiatrist and I talk to people all day? I talk to people all day. So I know I am not the only one that has been really busy. Drop it in the chat. Let me know if you've been really busy too. I bet you have. I bet you've been busy because we're near the end of the year. So from a business standpoint, everybody's looking at end of the year, end of the month, end of a quarter, looking at what to do for the next year. Also, we're still doing pandemic living. So everyone's trying to figure out how to stay alive. Taking vaccine, not taking vaccine, when you're getting a COVID test, when you're not getting a COVID test, what mask you're wearing, all that kind of stuff. Who's sick, who's not sick, who's getting paid, who's not getting paid. Still dealing with all of that. Still dealing with racial injustice. The election is finally starting to wrap up. But if you're even in Georgia, we still have another election, and the early voting for the Senate runoff started today. So there are just so many things keeping us busy, and adulting has not stopped just because there is stuff going on. Well, the honest to goodness truth is I have been so busy, I wore myself out. So before I tell you the full story about how I wore myself out and what happened, because I bet you can guess, given what the title of this show is, that some of it is a response to all of this, is that let me tell you who I am. If you have not seen this before, you have not spent quality time with me. I am Dr. Ericka, double board certified and Harvard trained psychiatrist, best-selling author, and top speaker. I am here because I am on a mission to help women feel seen, valued, and whole on their own terms. But I also want to give people tools on how to be better, do better, and live better. And the things I teach will help you get there. All right. So let's go ahead and hop to it, because I'm not trying to keep you here all night. So as I said before, things have been really busy between my day doctor, my night doctor stuff, all of my business stuff, and just general adulting. And as you know, I'm also an empath. So it's just been a lot of really interesting energy going on. And what I realized is that my place started looking like I was a college student. Has that happened to any of you all out there? Drop it in the chat. Let me know if there's been a time where either you became mentally tired, physically tired, or just were just out of sorts, or just so busy that you looked up and your house turned into a mess. Well, you're getting this view because I'm going to give you a behind the scenes peek, so you know. I want, number one, for you to feel okay if this happens to you. I want you to know that even though I'm supposed to be really smart, I have lots of tools. My coping toolbox runneth over. That this happens to me too. That there are times where everything gets so busy, or I get tired, and quite honestly, I've been mentally exhausted, hence all of my Christmas TV watching. I've been mentally exhausted to the point where it's been hard to do anything other than work out and then lay on the couch. So as you see behind me, you can sort of see there are boxes on the floor. So this is one side of the chaos. We are going to pan the laptop. As you see clothes on the corner. And this is my counter. So this is me confessing. I have slipped into 100% clutter. And my mother would talk about me because even as a young person, that now people that knew me before I was a full-fledged grown-up, I used to keep a messy room. I've been known for that messy room. Now, as an adult, I typically keep a rather immaculate home. So the fact that my home looks like this right now means something. And I'm sure I am not the only one whose home looks a little bit different than usual. And let me know. Put it in the comments. Stick it in the comments. Let me know if you have found yourself recently surrounded by clutter, or it seems like no matter what you pick up, there's always something else that ends up there. Just let me know. Stick it in the chat if that has happened to you. So we're talking about today what a psychiatrist does when faced with clutter everywhere. So I've already done the confession that it has turned into piles of clutter, paper, you name it, it is just laying around. Now, if you go on the kitchen side, it actually doesn't look bad because I cleaned it up. And I clean that up every day, but I swear for some reason I have a bunch of piles of dishes and then it gets better. But first I want to do this in two things. So we're going to talk about what are some things that end up getting you into this world of clutter. Then we're going to talk about a couple of solutions. We're going to do it quick and dirty. We're going to get in and get out. Because you know what? We all got some cleaning to do. If we're cleaning up here, we're cleaning around here. So let's go ahead and get this started, because this is one of those huge steps that help you feel like you can be better and do better. And I know we all feel better, feel like we live better when we're in a clean home. So the first thing is how do you end up dealing with this clutter? And one is that you can end up, this is a reflection of the clutter in your mind. So if you feel like you are mentally cluttered, sometimes the clutter outside is a reflection of all the clutter going on all up in here. And I cut my hair, so hence I could just rub all over my head. Yeah, that's the fun fact is on lunch break at the meeting I was on today, I cut my hair at lunch. So sometimes it's just a reflection of the clutter in your mind. So times where you may just have so many things that you're trying to balance that it just feels like, you have a million thoughts in your head or a million to-dos. And then when it feels like it's overflowing and there's so much stuff running around in here, you look up and there's so much stuff running around on the outside. The next thing is sometimes it is a reflection of your mood. Now, in this case, I'm not sad, depressed, anxious. My mood is fine. I'm just mentally tired. But there are times where people can be depressed or sad, be really anxious, just feel emotionally out of sorts. And then around them starts to reflect it. So it starts becoming chaos outside because their emotions are out of whack. The other thing is when people are feeling emotionally out of whack, then the energy level and motivation to do the things such as cleaning your house or keeping your house become a bit too much. Because, as a psychiatrist, I know this, is that one of the symptoms of depression, now we talked about Siggy Caps and all the big symptoms, but one of the symptoms that's not, feeling depressed, crying, suicidal, all that kind of stuff, is that people have difficulties with motivation. Also, with a lot of mood issues, even including anxiety, sometimes people don't have energy. Their energy level goes down. And what does it take to clean your house and keep your house really neat? It takes energy. So if you don't have that energy, you may not do it. The other thing is just as what's going on inside your head can show outside, what's going on outside can influence your head. So if you're living in a bunch of clutter and there's stuff everywhere, then it can start affecting your mood. It can affect your thoughts because there's all of this disorder around you. The other thing is that naturally we're all adults. We're taught that you're supposed to have a clean home. And the other thing is, what happens when your house becomes a mess? You can't find anything. So it can also affect your mood secondarily because you get frustrated or sad or worried because you can't find stuff, or that you feel like you are not successful with being an adult because your house is a mess. So those are some of the things that this clutter can do. And let me know as you come on, have you been dealing with clutter? Have you looked up and just felt like your house just turned into a mess? But the other thing I want to talk about is not simply what this clutter can mean, but it's also what can you do to get rid of this clutter? Because you might be like, hey, Dr. Ericka, so you told me what this clutter can mean for my mind, but what do I do now? Oh, and yes, we did 1-800-GOT-JUNK for my mom once, and it was phenomenal. I'm not going to tell her business and tell you what happened with all of it. But let's go ahead and hop to, in a quick moment, what you can do about it. So in quick review, if you know somebody that needs to hear this, please tag them. If you're feeling gracious, tag 5 people. Just tag 5 people. Let them know, come on, check this out. You can also share this because I think almost everyone can use this message right now. Because the other thing is, it's hard to have your Christmas decorations up if it's a mess. And also the other thing is people like burning candles. You can't burn candles when there's stuff everywhere. It is a fire hazard. The other thing is, if you're watching this later, don't even worry about it. Put #replay in the comments. I'll know you're here. So feel free to put comments now or even later. I got you. So we are talking about, well, what do you do if you're feeling all this clutter? What can you do to make it better? And I'm looking, it was a nice banner that is no longer there. I think I didn't save it. So the first thing is, give yourself some grace. Give yourself grace. We are all dealing with situations. There is plenty of stuff going on. So the first thing is, don't add on by judging yourself or giving yourself guilt, because that is not going to help the situation. You're not going to feel better by judging yourself harshly. It's also not going to give you any energy to fix anything. So you might as well skip it. Give yourself some grace. Most of us have been dealing with a lot of challenges. So things are happening that aren't usual. We're feeling ways that we don't usually feel. We may be doing things we don't usually do. So give yourself some grace, okay? So you might wonder, what we got next? What is solution 2? Let's see. So the next thing is we're first going to give ourselves some grace, but then you have to come up with a plan, because we can't live in this clutter forever. And I know for me, one of the things I think that is huge is to do it in steps. The reason you want to kind of pick one area at a time to do is, number 1, you're going to feel better if you're able to see some wins. Number 2, you're also going to feel better if you can see progress. The one thing that happens when you try to clean everything at one time is nothing looks clean. And the more successful you are with feeling like you're getting your place in order, as you get it in order, it's going to make you feel mentally lighter and can improve your mood. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I know this. The next thing is that you can focus on one thing and then move to the next, so that you can not only see your progress, but you can move forward. And it also leads into the next thing, which is, we said we're going to do it in steps. We're not going to try to do everything at one time, because the other thing we need to do for ourselves is, in the vein of giving ourselves grace, is we need to have realistic expectations. If we did not destroy our house in one day or 1 hour, we probably are not going to fix it in 1 hour. Now, you can probably fix it quicker than you jacked it up, but you have to give yourself realistic expectations so that you don't end up feeling frustrated or lose your motivation or even affect your mood worse. Because if you feel unsuccessful, what are typical emotions? Frustration, sometimes irritability, anxiety, or dysphoria, or feeling sad. And we don't want anything that's going to increase those negative emotions. So by having realistic expectations, you're not going to end up feeling disappointed in yourself. Because one of the things we talked about is sometimes this clutter is a reflection of what's going on in our minds. So we want to use cleaning the clutter to do the reverse, which is having the clean and the decluttered situation, helping to declutter our mind and help us have more calm. So those are 3 tips for solutions. So thanks so much for coming. We're going to do a quick review and then I'm getting you out of here. So we're talking about what a psychiatrist does when faced with clutter everywhere. You can see a little bit here. There is legit clutter. If you popped on earlier, if you didn't see it earlier, you need to watch the replay and you get to see what my counter looks like, which is a disaster zone. And we talked about what are 3 things that this can signal, which is that the clutter outside could be a reflection of the clutter of your mind. It can also be a reflection of your mood, so that if people are depressed or nervous or worried or even sometimes irritable or having difficulties with concentration, then you can end up having clutter that shows up outside your mind into your physical space. And that your physical space can actually influence what's going on your mental state. So if you have a lot of clutter around, that can also affect your mood, your thoughts. It can make your mind feel more cluttered. It can decrease some of your clarity. And for some people, it can make them feel sad or nervous or frustrated. In addition to the fact that it can affect you just because you can't find stuff or you feel unsuccessful at adulting because your house is a disaster. So then we shifted to talking about what are some things you can do once you acknowledge the fact that, oh, there's some clutter, it's jacked up, I need to do something. Is that the first thing is give yourself grace. Do not judge yourself. It's not going to help. You can acknowledge the situation and then it's time to move on to some action. And if it's a situation where you need to have a little rest, get your rest and then do it. It's okay. Your body knows what it needs. Second is do it in steps. Do it in phases. Don't try to do all of it at once. Pick smaller target areas, clean and declutter those, and then move on to the next. Number 1, it's going to give you some wins. It's going to help you feel successful. And then you'll get some of that clarity that comes when something is actually completed and done. The next is make sure you give yourself some realistic expectations. Don't expect to clean your whole house in like 15 minutes if it's a disaster zone. So give yourself realistic expectations so that you don't end up feeling frustrated or sad or losing your motivation because you feel bad about the fact that you weren't successful, or putting such an expectation on yourself that dealing with how you're feeling emotionally, because especially we talked about sometimes when people are depressed or they're anxious or they're having mood issues or even concentration issues, that they have difficulties with motivation. And also they can have difficulty concentrating. When you have difficulty concentrating, it takes longer to complete your tasks. So I just want everyone to have realistic expectations, because you know what? You can do this. I will report back and let you know how things are looking over here, because it's extra special touched. But we can do this, but all of us are works in progress. And even though I am a doctor, I'm also a work in progress. So I wanted to let you know that I'm Dr. Ericka and I'm a person too. You know, the struggle is real. We are all working through these unprecedented times together. And I'm here with you for this journey. So thanks again for coming. I'll be on tomorrow for Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I can't wait to see you. I'll let you know what we're going to talk about. And from there, I just want to say thank you so much. If you've been feeling stuck or stressed or overwhelmed or just need a little mental health checkup, go to the link below. You can get a free consultation with me, a 15-minute consultation at AskDrGoodwin.com. AskDrGoodwin.com. There's literally nothing to lose. Come on over. Let's see if I can help you, because there's a lot of room for us to move from feeling stuck to feeling successful. And I want everyone to be able to embrace the joy and happiness that they deserve. So thank you so much again for coming. Again, I am your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained, double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I'm on a mission to help women feel seen, valued, whole on their own terms. But today I'm just here to help show you how to be better so you can do better and you can live better. And I'm going to teach you things that are going to help you get to that better that you deserve. So thanks again for coming. Again, if you just know someone or you need a little mental health checkup or just feeling overwhelmed and want some help, go to AskDrGoodwin.com. And the last thing is, don't forget your prescription is always make sure you call someone and tell them that you love them. Can you do that for me? You get a refill every day. All right, have a great night.